pursue my true self.
Morning. Good morning.
What's up? Well, let's go.
All done packing? Well, if you forget anything, I'll mail it to you.
Can I go answer the door?
Oh, yeah. That's right. Sure. Go answer it. There's nothing to worry about anymore. Seeing her so cheerful like that, nothing makes me happier. I already bought your train ticket for tomorrow. It leaves at 9 o'clock in the morning from Inaba station. Today's your last day here. Don't worry about Nanako. You can leave her to me. Go see your friends. This might be your last chance to talk to them.
Are you going out? Be careful.
We have reached March 20th to be exact. We are on the precipice of spring, which can only mean one thing. It is time to leave Inaba. So this is the final day that you have some control. And similar to a couple days after New Year's, or rather the day after New Year's, your mission here is to go around Inaba and say goodbye to every social link in the game. So let's start doing that. This is never an easy time. Things might get a little emotional as we say goodbye to all the friends that we've made. We'll start here at Samigawa. A quick note about Valentine's Day and the scene that happens after you return back home. You will obviously spend time with Marie regardless of what your relationship is. We didn't have an intimate relationship with her, but she came to see us nonetheless. Perhaps because canonically, Marie does in fact develop feelings for the main character regardless of how the player chooses to take the relationship. Now, if you choose to advance her to an intimate relationship earlier in the game, the context of that visit does change somewhat. There are a few dialogue differences and it ends a little bit differently. You can seek that out if you so choose. So let's start this goodbye tour with Hisano, the death social link.
My, goodness, I am so happy. Yes. I'll see you again.
Yes, it was the police that solved that case. Not us, not the investigation team. And it certainly wasn't one of the own members of the police force that was behind everything. So let's enter the school, enter Yasogami for the final time. It is spring break, but there are still some people here that we can see. So let's start with I.
Oh, thank you. Vita, huh?
And that wraps up the Moon Social Link. Let's head to the practice building where we can get some final closure on the Sun Social Link straight through these doors into the music room.
Oh, Senpai.
Yes, hopefully the weather doesn't turn sour suddenly before tomorrow. That would be a shame. And now the first of our investigation team social links to say goodbye to. It is the person who we hold the Fortune social link with, Naoto.
Oh. I apologize.
That's about what I would expect from Naoto. That wraps everything up here at Yasogami. The next place we want to visit is Junes. You can imagine who it is we're going to find here. All we have to do is head into the food court.
Yo!
And that wraps things up with the Magician and Star social links. Now there's obviously a big area we haven't been to yet, and that's the Central Shopping District. So we'll start in the south half and make our way north by beginning here at the bus stop. that ends things for the Devil Social Link. As I said when we wrapped that up, that Sayako has left the country to for the greater good, to do good work overseas, and she seems to have made a positive impact upon leaving. So up next would be a trip over to the hill over town, and you can guess who's waiting for us there.
When my love was frozen in the stream of tears, they still think of that love.
Thank you.
Eri, I don't think you had to worry. Something tells me Yuta was not Adachi's type.
I'm very happy. Thank you. I'll see you later.
And there we have conclusions to the Devil, Temperance, and Priestess social links. Very nice scene with Yukiko, and must I point out that the Amagi Inn is super rad to have a Jack Frost vending machine right at the entrance. Very cool. And now we say goodbye to the Chariot social link and move on to Margaret. A very interesting scene this shall be.
You have come. Oh. Now, close your eyes. Why, you ask? So that you don't witness my sinfulness. Why did I steal a kiss? Is that what you were going to ask? But it's you who was the thief.
Damn, Margaret kissing me with my girlfriend like 10 feet away? That's very bold. And no, I'm not the thief. That's the P5 main character that's the thief. Come on now. I think we will be seeing Margaret again in the future. She is a very mysterious character, and let's just say that the Persona story world has taught us that the relationship that develops between the attendants of the Velvet Room and their guests is a very interesting one, and this game was no different. So now it's time to say goodbye to Rise. I must say that I'm a little jealous. A couple of the girls that have their own like actual proper cutscenes where the screen fades out and then the conversation begins have like better conversations if you're in an intimate relationship. Whereas on this street, Chie and Rise really don't have that advantage. It kind of sucks, to be honest. But nevertheless, let's say goodbye to Rise and get the cap of the lovers social link.
Oh, Senpai.
All right. And now for the tower social link. It's Shu. And now into the north half of the shopping district, where we'll find the remaining social links of the game. And first, a trip over to Aya.
Whoa!
That wraps up the Strength Social Link. We've said goodbye to Ko and Daisuke. Up next is a trip to the shrine. Now, I do see Marie there in the background, but we'll save that for just a little bit. We need to head over to the shrine and seek out the fox. This is actually one of my favorite goodbye scenes. Yeah, the little baby foxes rule. That's so awesome. Got so hyped the first time I saw that. Alright, let's skip kanji and move on over to the Hanged Man social link. We'll say goodbye to Naoki now.
Flowers forget what they wet both day after day.
And now we can wrap up the Emperor social link. We'll say goodbye to Kanji, the final investigation team member we haven't talked to just yet.
Flowers forget what they wet both day after day.
And finally, the last person in the shopping district we have not spoken to, it is Marie. That's right, the final place we haven't been is back home, actually. Since we also have the Justice and Hierophant social links, we can spend a little time with Nanako and Dojima.
Hey,
Big bro.
We've said goodbye to everyone. We're finally here at the end of Persona 4. And all that's left to do is to return home, right? Or we could wait just a moment. Now, if you look down at the right corner of whatever the hell it is that you're viewing this video on, your desktop, your laptop, your smartphone, your tablet, whatever, you will see that this is a really long episode. I'm recording this in real time, and I could look over at my timer and just know this is going to be the longest episode in this playlist. Have you noticed something a little odd about people's dialogue today? It was very conveniently just laid out in Dojima's goodbye. That, some things that didn't necessarily have to be said were said, pertaining to the case and how things just randomly kicked up after Yu Narukami came to Inaba. And I believe, who was it? I believe it might have been Rise that said that though it is sunny here, it is still foggy in the TV world. How strange that is. Though it would appear all threat is over. I said before that mysteries would not end until the credits have rolled. And it is now time to meet the final requirement to achieve Persona 4's true ending. Now, I tell people that have never played Persona 4 Golden that there are 5 requirements for achieving the true ending of this game. Number 1, sometime during from April all the way through before you apprehend Adachi, you must complete Marie's social link. We did that right before doing so, the last day before apprehending Adachi. If you do not complete Marie's social link, then you never get the option to rescue her. She disappears And that's the end of that storyline. The second thing you need to do is on December 3rd, you must nail all of the correct responses in Namatame's hospital room so that you do not receive one of the bad endings on that night, and you are able to establish the Judgment social link and continue the path to the true ending. Let's see here. The third thing you need to do is, just a couple days later, is correctly point out that Adachi is the killer. If you've followed all the evidence within the game, you should be able to figure that out when you're standing outside of Aya, and that'll keep you on the path to the true ending. The fourth thing you need to do is give the correct responses inside the Velvet Room on January 2nd so that you can stay on the path to rescue Marie after having completed her social link, so that you can get that entire storyline with the Hollow Forest. And the fifth and final thing that you must do to achieve this game's true ending is right here, right now. Instead of returning home once you've said goodbye to all your social links, you instead go somewhere else. Excuse me as I fumble through the menus. We want to go into town, and the location we're going to is Junes. So this has been a game that has pulled the wool over its players' eyes for over 60 hours. This is a game all about deception and hiding the ultimate truth from you. When we walk through those doors into the Junes food court, we will be on the path to learn the ultimate truth of Persona 4, which, if you don't already know, may come as a bit of a surprise. But this game, it hides things very well. And there's a good saying, if you've heard it before, that one of the best ways to hide something is to hide it in plain sight. Many times in this game, the truth has been hid in plain sight, right underneath the player's nose. I have even done a little maneuvering to show it off every now and then that maybe some veteran players may have caught on to. Nevertheless, let's go into the food court. We're going to enter a lot of cutscene. Which is why this episode, which is already like 10 minutes over almost, is going to keep going for quite a while. So, let it begin.
Huh? What a coincidence! It must be destiny!
Oh, so you guys came here too!
It's our very own special headquarters. There are so many memories here.
Yo there, Senpai. I thought you'd be here.
We had a feeling we'd run into everyone if we came here.
We were planning on seeing you off at the station tomorrow, but I was feeling too restless, so I decided to come here.
Well, since we're all here, why don't we have something to eat?
Ooh, let's have steak! Steak! And make Yosuke pay for everything!
Will you shut up about your steaks?
I really had fun in this world.
Dude, your whole existence is about fun. Well, what we've gone through wasn't all fun and games. But I gotta say, I've never felt so fulfilled in my life.
It seems we've been working on this forever, but at the same time, it felt like it went so fast. We won't ever gather here again like this, or tear our hair out trying to solve the mysteries.
Even if we wanted to talk about it all, there were so many extraordinary things that no one would believe us. Come to think of it, for me, I think it all started when Chie told me about the Midnight Channel.
I think I heard about it from her too. How did you learn about it, Chie?
I guess it was just a random rumor. A lot of girls were trying it out.
Huh. I wonder how it started then.
Who knows? Maybe someone accidentally came across it?
The Midnight Channel. You know, that really was the cause of everything. I mean, the fog lifted after we caught Adachi, but there's still a lot of stuff that isn't clear yet. It's still foggy over there, too.
Some weird guy might use it to do bad things again.
Didn't that Amino something monster say it granted us power?
I bestowed power onto those who could brave the Hollow Forest. In other words, he gave the power to inter-TVs to those who awakened to their persona ability, so that he might use us as pawns to enact his scheme.
Hey, that reminds me. Didn't your hand suddenly slip into the TV even before anything happened to you? Does that mean you're an exception? Well, wait, then what about Adachi and Namatame? Those two could go inside TVs before all this stuff about personas, right?
What? Then Senpai and the other two could do it for some other reason?
There must be something you're not remembering. Anything come to your mind, Senpai?
A letter? Hey, this better not be another warning. Huh? This is from jail? It's from Adachi.
I'm sure you're surprised to get this letter out of the blue. I'm writing this because there's something I need to tell you. Ever since I made it out alive, there are some things I understand now. It's true that my game's over. As you all insisted at the time, I'll abide by the rules of this world. But as long as I'm in stir here, I can't clean up after myself. So I hope this will give you something to think about regarding this case. There's still this feeling I can't shake. It's about how it all started, about that Midnight Channel. Now I remember, someone told me about it when I first came to town, before I heard the rumors at the station. And I was intrigued when I noticed that something similar was written on Namatame's reports as well. But I can't remember who it was that told me. Since Namatame and I both gained our power after coming to Inaba, I have a feeling that has something to do with it. I don't know if any of this will be useful or not, but I hope it can help somehow. When I'm here, I think of Dojima-san, Nanako-chan, and you. A lot. Though my time with you didn't seem like much fun before. It's strange. Despite it all, I'm grateful to you. Thank you. But let me just say this. You're a dumbass. You take the path you choose, and I'll think about what that means to me too. I doubt I'll ever see you again, but stay healthy. Goodbye.
not very helpful to know that he can't remember who it was.
I'm not sure how to put it, but I kinda know the feeling. It's like... I don't know how to say this. Like something's connecting all these things. Something beyond what we can see. That world, the Midnight Channel, the ability to enter TVs. They all feel like separate things. You know what I mean? First the rumors, then the serial murder, followed by us deciding to investigate the case. If they all really were separate, they wouldn't fit together like this, right? There has to be some kind of conductor behind everything.
So you think the person Adachi mentioned, the one who told him about the Midnight Channel, is that conductor? Did I strike gold again? It's seriously just something that popped into my head!
Senpai, is there anything like that you can think of? We were involved in a murder case last year, which we succeeded in solving. But the monster we fought last said we did well in playing our parts. Perhaps this means Adachi and Namatame were players as well. Could it be that from the beginning, this serial murder case was merely a portion of a much larger scheme? And none of the people who were directly involved in the case ever suspected it.
Hey, this scheme. Could it be the whole thing about filling both worlds with the fog and turning mankind into shadows? So someone was behind the scenes watching us. The culprits. And maybe even that monster. And he manipulated Adachi and Namatame at the very beginning so everything would come together perfectly?
Let's go out into town. We might find something. Although, you may be the only one capable of noticing it. Please contact the rest of us should you come across anything.
We can't say our goodbyes tomorrow with this hanging over our heads. Let's go figure this out.
All right, we have the Jester social link all wrapped up. Let's take a look at that. So we see all these maxed out social links, and we come down to the very end, and hey, we finally finished Adachi like I said we would. And must I say that I really love Adachi's letter. What a great character. You're a dumbass. Oh, I love Adachi so much. Ooh, it's getting a little cloudy in Inaba all of a sudden. So, this is it, the time to trace things back. So from the very beginning, we have had the ability to enter the TV world ever since shortly coming to Inaba, prior to the day in which we awakened to Izanagi. The same is true for Namatame, who never actually awoke to the power of Persona, as well as Adachi, who obviously had the ability to enter the TV world and throw people into the TV world prior to awakening to Magatsu Izanagi. The question is why? What common thread ties the three of us together? And where in the world did we get this power? Because our teammates didn't gain the ability to enter the TV world until they faced their other selves. The same is not true for Yunarukami. What is it that connects us together? Well, before we find out, we're going to have to piece it together a little bit, and it's not too complicated. We only need to go to one place, and that's Samegawa. We can find Dojima here and ask him about that fateful day, April 11th, 2011, in which we first came to Inaba.
Did you... Try not to leave here with any regrets. Did you already meet all your friends? Hmm? What's this all of a sudden? The day you first came to town? Let's see. We were the first ones to greet you, right? Did we stop somewhere on the way home? I'm pretty sure Nanako and I left home that afternoon, picked you up, and came straight back. Now that I think back to that night, I was called back to work as soon as we got home, so I couldn't talk much. And the very next day, those strange murders started. Sheesh. Lots happened since then. It's been one heck of a year, hasn't it?
Hey, big bro. On the first day, didn't we stop at that place? The gas station. I used the bathroom there. When I got back to the car, you were talking to the weird attendant. Yeah, when I first met you, I remember the gas attendant because he was weird.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that. I filled the tank before we went home, huh? Yeah, I do remember you talking to the attendant there. I didn't remember seeing him much before, so he stuck in my mind. But I don't know about calling him weird. It wasn't like he looked or acted funny. Yeah, come to think of it, I never saw that guy again.
It wasn't really that the attendant looked weird. But after you talked to him, you looked sick, big bro. Don't you remember? I asked you on the way home. Are you carsick? You said you were okay, but that attendant, he was just a little scary for some reason.
Well, I didn't know about that. But honestly, I'm surprised you're asking all these questions. I thought you came here just to reminisce. So, why are you looking for the person you met first? Is something going on with that attendant? Do you know him? I see. Well, just remember that you leave tomorrow. I don't know what you're up to, but you should come back home early. There are some dark clouds on the horizon. We might get some rain soon.
Okay.
Yes, the very first place we went to after coming to town was Moel Gas Station, the south half of the central shopping district. But there's really nothing suspicious about this place. There is one place, however, we can go to in the central shopping district, and that's the Velvet Room. But before we do that, I actually want to save the game right here. Okay, that's done. And let's head into the Velvet Room for some late game guidance from Igor and see what it is that we can find out.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. How may I help you? You have solved the mystery and deflected the disaster that so nearly fell upon you. Is there something else beyond this you need our assistance with? Intriguing. So, is there still something that leaves you unsatisfied? What may that be? Well then, let's take a look and see what it is you might be sensing.
Wow, that's a lot.
Ah, this is a surprise. These are shards of power, allowing one to see through to the truth of things without being swayed by hollow rumors. Interesting. Indeed, you have come here today for a reason. Then I shall play my part as well. That is a crystal of power which you have nurtured through your journey. An orb that repels fabrications of all sorts, dispels lies, and shines upon the truth.
Hey, I remembered something about myself. I was born a long, long time ago. I was the unconscious wish shared by people's minds to protect the world of man, walk the path of man, fulfill the wish of the world. That was my role. But people changed. People stopped wishing for truth and life. Or maybe they just stopped paying attention. Eventually, the me that wanted to protect humanity and the me that wanted to fulfill humanity's wish couldn't stay as one. The desires of man had no bounds, and one day, my other half became its own existence, much larger than myself. I was left behind, with no power or memories. I became a tiny fragment, incapable of even clearing the fog without giving my own life to do so. Kusumi no Okami. The rest, you already know. Without my powers, I became a tool, manipulated by the other me. You already know, huh? The cause of it all. The one who created the Midnight Channel and gave you the power to enter the TV. The real puppet master, who tried to fill both worlds with fog, using me and the Sagiri. If you don't defeat her, the world will never be truly clear of that fog. Go. Follow what you believe in. The truth is right in front of you.
Truth is a thing which only appears to those who have observed, considered, and made a choice. At the end of the path you chose lies the truth. Believe in it, and continue without faltering.
How marvelous. It seems that you will reveal the journey's true end, one beyond our predictive power. Now go to the place where everything began.
And now you know why it is that this episode is named Reach Out to the Truth. Why I've waited so many episodes before cashing in that title. So the place where everything began, the truth is right in front of us. And one truth as it pertains to Marie is now known. Marie is one half of a whole. An entity that exists to protect mankind, yet also grant its wishes. And when those two things came into conflict, what it is that man wants and the desire to be protected, that entity split to two. The interpretation of what it is that man wants is that at some point humanity became satisfied with not knowing truth, with living in blissful ignorance. And thus, it could not coexist, the desire to be protected, yet give mankind its ignorance, its peaceful fog. And so that entity split into two. It is time to confront Persona 4's ultimate antagonist, the final opponent of the game, the conductor behind the entire game's mystery, and really the first person we came into true contact with in Inaba. Now, you may have noticed that during several rainy days in this game, I had events planned to where I would come here to the shopping district on days in which it would rain. Many of those days involved walking up the street, up this very street in the central shopping district to the north half to go to the shrine, usually to cash in a fox quest and whatnot. And instead of just using the quick menu, using this little thingy here to go straight to the shrine, the second I arrived in the shopping district, I purposefully walked this street many times so that you could see the truth, that you could see the truth hidden in plain sight in Persona 4, hidden so cleverly by Katsura Hashino and his team. And that truth, well, she's always been standing there, right there, and she only appears when it's raining. It is the gas attendant that we met on April 11th. Let's see what the truth brings us.
You really are troublesome. Not only did you defeat the two Sagiri I snuck into Adachi and Namatame, but you even saved that stunted dwarf of a life. It's such a foolish thing. What good is saving her life? She is but rubbish, suitable only for getting rid of that pointless fog. Don't tell me she was still carrying that around. Oh, excuse me. I was talking about that bamboo comb you have on you. It seems you don't know who gave her that comb either. That comb is a symbol of the separation we went through. How foolish. That comb was a curse. And to think she treasured it all this time. She must have been desperate for something to cling to. There's a limit to how irresponsible you can get. And what are you going to do about it? The last battle wasn't enough for you. You certainly have the powers I was expecting. You must know by now. Isn't that why you came? Your friends were drawn to the spark I stirred in you. That's why they're here now, with their awakened powers. Still, I didn't think you'd make it all the way to me. Indeed, I never expected this at all. You're really something. What? You don't remember? When you first came to town, I gave your power a gentle push. Just like this. Are you in high school? Does it surprise a city boy to see how little there is out here? There's so little to do, I'm sure you'll get bored fast. You'll either be hanging out with your friends or doing part-time jobs. Speaking of which, we're actually looking for part-time help right now. Give it some thought, why don't you? We don't mind if you're a student. You're not the only one I welcomed to town with a handshake greeting. I did the same for a few other outsiders like you. A handful of strangers were more than sufficient to stimulate a small place like this. But it seems the stimulus was stronger than I imagined, enough to envelop this town with fog, and later lift it. Not only that, you now stand before me as if your assigned part wasn't enough. What for? What will grasping the truth do for you? Why such greed? I guess it's the foolish nature of being mortal.
I am Izanami. Amino Sagiri, ruler of the fog, is merely an aspect of myself that I birthed long ago. You awakened to a power I had not imagined. You defeated the two Sagiri and the one fragment born from me. And now here you stand, face to face with me. I can no longer ignore this situation as mere foolishness. This may be fate, as decreed by the world. Very well. This time I shall pit my full strength against you. But in return, you must come prepared to follow through in your futile resistance. I'll be waiting for you there.
Hey, are you alright? Who was that you were just talking to? Did she just disappear? Wait, don't tell me.
So, it wasn't over after all.
You're saying this so-called Izanami is the conductor, and she's waiting for us in the other world? If we don't beat her, I'm sure it'll all happen again.
Oh, okay. The others aren't far off, so I'll call them up.
Yeah, will ya? Tell him this is really gonna close the case.
Right. We'll defeat her and put an end to this for sure this time.
Alright, then once we're all ready, let's meet up at Juness.
I search for your help, pursue my truth.